And so as an agent, you're always balancing that out. Like, okay, if I just tell these sellers they're crazy, some other agent is going to take the listing. He's going to go on the journey with them, and eventually they're going to sell, and then they're going to end up selling for much less than what they want because it's obvious, but at least that agent's going to get the business. So sometimes you got to do that with your clients.
You have like no reason not to talk me into taking 50 grand less, right? Because what the do you care? You get the deal done. And listen, if you do it in the right way, the
Yeah.
deal sold in a year from now. I'm not so butthurt anymore, and we're friends
When
again,
my
right? Are there any sellers that expectations are realistic when you talk to them? And
Of
like,
course.
what has to be the scenario for that to manifest? Because most people with everything think that whatever's theirs is worth, at
Mm-hmm.
least as much as the best thing, the other best thing out there, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's really hard to predict, to be honest with you. You would think, well, the bank is about to take their home, and so therefore they're going to be really no. Those are like the least realistic people, because they want to have you know, a miracle come in to save them and get them this like huge premium that doesn't exist, so that they can walk away with some money. It's like it doesn't make any sense. And then sometimes it's other reasons. I mean, motivation, sure, they'll eventually get there. The motivation for the sellers who need to sell will eventually get there, but it doesn't mean that they start out right. And so as an agent, you're always balancing that out. Like, okay, if I just tell these sellers they're crazy, some other agent is going to take the listing. He's going to go on the journey with them, and eventually they're going to sell, and then they're going to end up selling for much less than what they want because it's obvious, but at least that agent's going to get the business. So sometimes you got to do that with your clients. And it's like the skill of a realtor to say like, how serious are these people, and are they going to be realistic eventually to go on that road with them? Or I took over a listing for a guy who was on our team, but he like changed industries, so I took over his listing. It was in Richmond Hill, and I was dealing with the seller. I thought I had a good thing going with him. I mean, I get put into a situation with an overpriced listing that the guy bought it for $180,000 more than it's worth today, back in 21 or 22. I don't know. But anyways, long story short is that listing just expired, you know? So, I tried to basically talk to the seller to say, let's, get it on at the right price. Let's do it right. Da, 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 da. And I just got ghosted, and he wasn't interested in talking to me. So I was like, all right, well, good luck. So we pick up our sign and pick up our lockbox and move on. You know what I mean? So it's like lost business. We spent all this money marketing. We spent all this time. We did all these things. I saw all the messages and things like that our old agent had sent to the guy. He spent a lot of time in it, but it is what it is. I mean, you chalk that up. So that's the real estate business. Is you got to know who to who to go on that journey with and who not to go on that journey with, and that just comes from experience. In that particular case, to me, there was a lot of evidence that said that guy was not somebody to go on that journey with. But like, you never really know. It's always just about what the situation is. Like
Yeah.
I had to sell a couple people's properties who came to me, who are like they're losing hundreds of thousands of dollars within a short period of time from the 2022 peak stuff. And you know, when they're basically at the point where they're just like, TK, like, I'm losing 5 grand a month, and I don't have the money, and the bank's going to take the house if I don't get it sold. Then it's like, all right, let's see what we can do. And you try to just make the situation as best they can. But if they're like, I want to get my money back, and I'm carrying the property, and the rent pays this, and I don't need the money, and da 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 da, will you take the listing? And it's kind of like, you're going to lose 200 grand here. Like, is that okay with you? Well, no. It's like, well, I can't really prevent that. So, should we be listing? Probably not, you know?
So, but is it stupid these days to? I mean, I guess there's so many listings, but is it stupid to pass up a listing, like in case they get realistic? Or
There's plenty of examples of yes, but again, that is the realtor's skill and also risk that we take. You're going to have to lose if you're a good agent. You are definitely going to take on some listings that don't end up selling, because there'll be other ones that maybe you think, hey, maybe I shouldn't take this on, but then the seller ends up seeing that you're working hard and you're doing everything you're supposed to, and that these are just the realities of the current situation, and then it says to you, okay, TK, what do we got to do to get it sold? And then you say, well, let's actually price it right this time and see what happens, and miraculously it sells, and they go, wow. you really know what you're doing.
Well,
You know?
listen, I mean, it's easy to price it right being the salesperson, not the
Hmm.
person about to lose like everything, right?
Yeah,
That's
that
a
stuff is
really tough
sensitive.
thing. Yeah, it's a tough
Sensitive.
thing to deal
Yeah.
with. So, what about, but so those people that come to you, like the power of sales, or like as a realtor, is this like, this is a good thing? Like, oh, I got a power of sale. This thing's going to sell for sure. This thing's going to like, right? Because like, let's be honest.
Yeah.
I'm sure we've talked about this before, but it's been a while, okay?
Okay.
If you're selling a house for somebody, okay, and the price fluctuates 50, 100 grand, what you as an agent
Hmm.
take home at the
Yeah.
end of the day, right? Like your input into
Inconsequential.
is inconsequential.
Yeah.
No matter how expensive the house is,
Yeah.
relative to your
It's
commission,
never a thought.
right?
It's never like, hey, if I get him an extra $100,000, I'm gonna make X more dollars on the commission. Like
Well, that's
zero
one
thought gets put
side of
into it.
it. So,
Yeah.
okay, that's interesting. Okay, so I don't even think of it that way, right? I
Yeah.
think of it more the other way. It's like you have like no reason not to talk me into taking 50 grand less, right? Because what the fuck do you care? You get the deal done. And listen, if you do it in the right way, the
Yeah.
deal sold in a year from now. I'm not so butthurt anymore, and we're
When
friends
I
again, right?
when my clients say that to me, it tells me I didn't do a good job telling them about who I am and what my role is. My
What do
role
you
is to make sure that I get them the most amount of money for them. Has nothing to do with me.
forget about that?
But
Forget it. I know
it has
that.
nothing to do with me.
Okay,
So
forget about
when they say,
you, TK. Forget about you. Okay,
okay,
the agents out there that aren't as wonderful and honest as you.
but I'm just relating it. I think most agents are thinking the same way because literally that
You don't
a
think
thousand dollar,
Your brother
a couple
Bob that you
thousand
chose to
grand
use?
commission more or less one way or another, that shouldn't impact any decision an agent makes.
Okay, honey, we're gonna use my brother Bob because he's hurting right now and he needs
Yeah.
some money and he's an agent and he's gonna sell this thing.
Okay, but it's
That dude
tens
is
of thousands of
coming.
dollars for one commission. Whether Bob gets them 50 grand less or more doesn't impact that tens of thousands of dollars that
That's what I'm
much.
saying. It doesn't impact Bob at all. So he's like, you
Yeah.
know what? I think you guys should come down 50 grand. Let's get the deal done. It affects him 50 bucks. They
Yeah.
lose 50 grand,
But Bob should
right?
never be, his commission shouldn't impact that at all. It should be based on what's selling in the neighborhood. That's why he's given that advice.
Um,
There's really no relation whatsoever to the fee when that advice is being given. I mean,
no, but when the opportunity presents itself, when you got
yeah,
an offer and you're sitting
yeah,
there, right? And you're like, I want 1.5, and the offer comes in at 1.450, right?
yeah.
Your agent is now going to say something to you. He's
Well,
going to say either
then it
I
would
think you should
that
take this,
okay, okay.
or
I'll give you an honest answer then. Then it would be the consequences of getting a commission or not. So, for example, your listing's about to expire. They've already told you that they're talking to other agents. They've already said to you they think you're doing a horrible job, and now you got an offer coming in 2 weeks before expiry. That agent's probably not going to say, well, I want to make sure you guys get the most amount of money anymore. He's going to say, how do I protect my commission here? I'm about to lose the listing and not get any commission whatsoever.
with
And that
every
type of
offer,
situation. So
that's the
he would
situation.
pressure. Well, you know what? If you got a longer listing period, this is a great little thing here you're doing, Darryl. It helps me explain things for agents. If you're an agent right now, this is a great uh, idea, like a great thought process. When sellers ask you to take a shorter listing period, you're actually setting yourself and them up for um, a high pressure environment because now the agent, you get an offer. Let's say you got a 60-day listing, the shortest term possible on the Toronto Real Estate Board. And now all of a sudden you get an offer after 30 days. It's your first offer. And you're going like, these sellers told me I got 60 days to sell. Otherwise, if I don't sell it, they're never going to use me again because they got all these other agents that they're interviewing and I got a short lease, 60 days. Well, now you're under the gun. So now, as the agent,
This
as a
is when you
human
hear,
being, you're
yeah.
going to start trying to say to them, "Well, you know what, guys? The tariffs and
The
your
first
neighbors and
offer is the best
your first offer
offer.
is the best offer, and the roof is leaking and all that stuff." And so that now puts pressure on the agent to convince their sellers to take less money, which means the sellers now receive pressure from their own agent on, you know, selling the property for less money. You
Because
should
it
be
doesn't
signing,
impact them.
you should be listing with an agent that after you've interviewed all the agents out there, they got the best system, they got the best reputation, they got the best customer service, and that you're 100% happy with them, and then commit to them for a longer period so that you get more money, so that you can actually feel confident that if you do get an offer after 30 days, your agent's not just going to be like, hey, Darryl, you should take it because I'm about to be out of a job, that they're actually going to review the offer with you and actually look at all the prospects, look at all the feedback, look at all the neighborhood sales, look at all the, economic factors in the macro to say to you, Darryl, I think you should take this offer, or I think that you should wait for something better.
Are you looking for the best merch store on the planet? Well, we got the shit for you. Coming in at low prices where we barely make any money off of whatsoever, you can get the greatest real estate merchandise on this platform. Just look at this very flamboyant man putting on this great stuff. He looks great, he's dancing great, and boy does he look sexy in that merchandise. I tell you, buy this for anybody, you buy this for yourself. You will be not only repping the greatest Canadian real estate podcast in this world, but you will also be looking hella good doing it.